versus the experienced. Meaning, I see a tree. The tree is experienced and I am the experiencer. The tree cannot experience me, nor can I experience myself. So every experience of an object requires an experiencer, but the experiencer itself cannot be experienced. That's a rule. And the true nature of the experiencer is Satchidanandam or Nirguna Brahman. That's the true nature of the experiencer. The Nirguna Brahman cannot be experienced. You can only be the Nirguna Brahman. What you experience in your meditations or upasana is the Saguna Brahman. In the form of Devi or Ganesha or Vishnu or Shiva, these are all Saguna Brahman. Depending upon your tradition and your teacher's advice, you visualize the Saguna Brahman in the form of Devi or Vishnu or Shiva. So when we cross that boundary, which is Nirguna Brahman, there the experiencer experienced everything collapse. There is only one undulating, borderless expanse of consciousness. Where the experienced duality disappear. Tribhuti Rahida Anubhav or Tribhuti Rahida Jnana. So as we transcend these koshas by observation, detachment, the Vishaya Prabhanjam, Shariram, Prana, emotions, Mana, Buddhi, doership, enjoyership, and that happy self which you experience in sleep, we transcend all this because sleep experience also is an objective experience. Sleep you don't feel anything or see anything, but you have an experience of happiness. An experience of I don't know anything, that abhavam. That abhavam also is seen by the experiencer or consciousness. So abhava is a vritti, it's a mode of mind in consciousness. Bhavam is another vritti. The bhavas are two modes of the mind. In abhava the mind says, I don't know. In bhava the mind knows. With the help of consciousness, of course. Is in our spiritual journey a state comes beyond bhava and abhava, where the tribhutis collapse and there is only a flame of joy or silence. So all the acharyas, Patanjali and Shankara and Govinda Bhagavad-pada, all the acharyas, cautions us against objective experiences, siddhis, visions, including Gaudapada in his Mandukya Kariga. One has to go beyond. These are side shows. So the absence of the world, Drishya Prapancham, is understood as Drishya Prapancham appear and disappear. And Drishya Prapancham cannot exist without the conscious experience. There's a two meaning of absence. Meaning the Drishya Prapancham has no existence other than the experiencer. It has to depend on the experiencer. And Drishya Prapancha includes all the five koshas. So when we say there is absence of Drishya Prapancha, it only means it appears and disappears, and it is depending upon consciousness. And you go one more step further, and Drishya Prapancham is only an appearance of consciousness. Meaning everything is Chinmayam, Vishnumayam, Shivamayam. That's the final state of spiritual awakening. Where you locate your pain in mind, in the mind, matra sparshastu kaunte. Beyond the mind, pain has no entry, has no business beyond the mind. That is why even in deep sleep there is no pain. Or under anesthetics there is no pain. So pain is, or suffering is incidental, not intrinsic to you. And once you reach that state of Nirguna Brahman, all karmas are burned down. Not literally, but in that understanding you understand that you never did any karma. You never had any desire. You never under the spell of ignorance. So this ignorance and desire and karma and then all these are pedagogic strategy. They all indicate Nirguna Brahman. Yes, you are suffering. Look at that suffering. When you look at the suffering, it's not there. Like the snake on the rope. Look at your anger. When you look at your anger, anger is not there. So being alert, alive, Jagrata, You are able to contain the suffering or pain, locate it to the mind, and most of the time mind misinterprets things and suffer. Because mind has only limited information. With this limited information, mind, with the help of intellect, takes decisions, can be wrong, can be right. So the mind's interpretation, based on limited information, based on its prejudices and biases. So when your vision expands, the suffering also is reduced to a pinpoint. So we are on the last point in our journey. We are cruising in 40,000 feet in the sky of consciousness. Like a wave in the ocean rolls on the surface of the ocean. And the wave is not different from the ocean. Or there are ripples in the surface of time-space, creating objective experience. So deep down, we enjoy this silence, wholeness, health. We feel holy in the process. And without losing that understanding, you interact with the world, which is called a mithya. Mithya means it's neither real or unreal. You cannot dismiss it as unreal, nor can you annul it as the real. So without losing yourself, you interact with the world. And this world itself is your own creation, the expression of your affluence, overflowingness. So all these ideas together constitute enlightenment or nirvana or moksha. Moksha is not running away from the world. Moksha is embracing the whole world. Moksha is loving the whole world, loving yourself to begin with. Moksha is creativity, playfulness, fun. So hold on to this, the fundamental rule of experience. That the experiencer cannot be experienced, the knower cannot be known. But no knowledge or experience is possible without the knower or experiencer. Vijnadaram are kena vijaniyat. Yajna's rhetorical question. How do you know the knower? Answer is you can't. You can only be the knower. So that is a state of silence or bliss. So everything you can objectify except yourself. You can objectify the world, the body, prana, mind, intellect, ignorance, happiness born of this, in the presence of desirable objects, everything can be objectified. So it's not that I am happy, it is I am happiness. I am happy is an adjective, something sticking on to me. I am pure happiness. I am pure awareness. I am pure existence. So all projects of objectifying consciousness and studying is fated to fail, because the whole methodology is wrong. And hence the importance of meditation, purifying the mind, doing upasanas. So the inner work, not extroverted work. And hence the importance of sadhana. Because the sadhyam is deep within you, buried deep within you. So you begin like that, you sit quiet, watch your breath, focus between the eyebrows, chant Om. These are preparation. Om means Auma, representing the waking, dream, sleep world, and the Amatra, which has no amplitude or fluctuations or frequencies. Amatra, where there is no sound. So in your search for yourself, you sit down, relax, and once you reach the center of your being, pivoted there, you can move around. So our formulation is, thereafter you don't search for happiness, you happily move around in the world. That's the final formulation. To express and share your natural Sahajanandam, Sarupanandam. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. The sound Om is a formula. It represents both the seen, experienced world and the seer also. Both are combined in Om. The very powerful concept or idea, Om. Om represents the Drishya Prapancham, seen world. And in between Om there is a silence. They call Amatra. Amatra represents the transcendent, the Nirguna Brahman. So Om represents Saguna Brahman. So when you chant Om carefully, then you understand both the Saguna and the Nirguna Brahman Om. So just Om will do. Keep chanting Om every time. That itself will do. All this laborious study also is not necessary. Just keep chanting Om, you say. Then Om represents both Nirguna, Saguna. So that's the idea we have been discussing. It's not that rocket science, it's a simple thing. But Agrutvadishya vilayam ajñātva tattvam atmanaha bāhishabdaikudo muktihi bhakti matram bhalairganam. By close analysis of this sloka, it seems our chanting of daily puja, mantras, slokas, studis, mantras, puja mantras, ellam nishphalam. That's true. By chanting and doing puja, you don't become Brahman. You don't become Brahman. Nishphalam. By chanting and doing puja, you create a mindset so that you can discover your Brahman. So they are not Nishphalam. That way. In one way it's Nishphalam because it doesn't produce Brahman. Another way it is Sabhalam because it creates the ground for experiencing Brahman. So don't give up all that. Then you will be Trishangu, neither there nor here. So don't become a Trishangu, you say. You need all this. You need all this. Groundwork is necessary. The plane has to run on the runway for a couple of miles before it takes off. Otherwise it cannot take off. So these pujas and all is a preparation. And what is after all puja? Puja, you offer a flower to a deity. And that is only tokenism in the beginning. Ultimately, you surrender yourself to, you yourself become a flower at the feet of the deity. That's why Narada says 3 stages of puja. First is Pujadishanraga, offering flower and washing and all that. Second is Kadhasravanadishanraga. You want to know what is the meaning of this deity. Third is Tadarpita Akhilacharata. You do everything as an offering to this deity. So finally your Swadharma becomes the flower that you offer. Isn't it? That's how we have to understand. So let's not kid ourselves by saying that this is not necessary. They're all necessaries. അബദ്ധത്തിന് എങ്കിൽ വീണാൽ പോലും പാപമുക്തി കിട്ടുമെന്നാണല്ലോ പ്രമാണം. ഗുണമറിയാതെ ഔഷധം സേവിച്ചാലും രോഗമുക്തി ലഭിക്കുമല്ലോ. അബദ്ധത്തിൽ then you will drown also sometime. You may die. But that's motivating you. The motivating that, it's not taking a bath in Ganga makes you pure. You are already pure. But there is a notion I am impure. There is a notion. So, as I told you, you pretend the cow is being tied, then you pretend the cow is being untied, isn't it? So, the notion that I am impure, I am miserable, that notion is to be removed. So, we say go and take a bath in the Ganga. Thereafter you are okay. You are pure, isn't it? Thereafter you are okay. So the idea behind is you are already pure. If you are impure, nobody can remove that because your nature is impurity. So impurity is something sticking on to you which is an illusion. ഇവിടെ ആത്മതത്വം അറിയാതെ ബാഹ്യശബ്ദങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ട് എവിടെ മുക്തി കിട്ടാനെന്നാണ്. സോ ദ ഐഡിയ ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് ഇഫ് യു സിംപ്ലി സേ അഹം ബ്രഹ്മാസ്മി വിത്തൗട്ട് ഗോയിങ് ത്രൂ ദിസ് പ്രോസസ് ഡസൻറ്റ് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് എനി റിസൾട്ട്. അഹം ബ്രഹ്മാസ്മി, ബട്ട് യുവർ മൈൻഡ് ഈസ് ഫുൾ ഓഫ് ഡിസയേഴ്സ്. This should not be cerebral understanding. It should be a deeper experiential understanding. That's what is meant there. You can fake it and you may not make it. If you fake it, you can make it, you may not make it. So therefore, merely saying, you have to, it has become part of your behavior, character. You have to recraft yourself with this understanding. It takes some time. That's why he said merely saying Aham Brahmasmi may not help. സ്ഥൂല സൂക്ഷ്മ കാരണശരീരങ്ങളുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടത്, ഈ സ്ഥൂല ശരീരവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട മനസ്സ്, ഇന്ദ്രിയങ്ങൾ, ബുദ്ധി തുടങ്ങിയെല്ലാം ജഡവസ്തുക്കളാണെന്ന് സംശയാതീതമായി തെളിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ. എന്നാൽ ഈ സ്ഥൂല ശരീരം നശിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം സൂക്ഷ്മ ശരീരവും കാരണശരീരവും നിലനിൽക്കുന്നു എന്നും പറയുന്നു. സ്ഥൂല ശരീരത്തെ പോലെ അവിനശിക്കത്. യെസ്, that also will go. It will become knowledge. Brahmajnanam, when you get the Brahmajnanam, Sushma Shariram, Karma Shariram, everything will be transcendent. And they will be seen as Brahman's expression through Trigunas and Panchabhutas and all that. So that's they all will go. Okay, so think about that. We have to think about all these things. Sarvavedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranadosmyaham Jandunam Narajanmadurlabhamata Pumstum Tado Viprata Tasmad Vaidika Dharma Marga Vidutvamasmat param Atmanatma vivejanam sanubhavo Brahmatmana samstitihi Uttirno shatakodi janma sugurde Punnir vina labhyade Durlabham trayame vedada Devanugrahahedukam Manusyatvam mumukshutvam Mahapurusha samshaya. Ko nama bandha kadamesha agadaha Kadam pradeshtasya kadam vimokshaha Ko savanatma paramakatma Tayor viveka kathametaduchyadam Brahmanandarasana kalidai pudai sushidai sidai Yushmadvakkala shuchidai shutisukei Vakyamrudai sejaya Sandaptam bhavatabhadavadakanajwalabhirenam prabho Dhanyaste bhavadikshanakshanagate patrikrita svikrita. So all these studies are difficult, Sanskritam you have to do vibhakti and try to know the meaning, the word meaning, sentence meaning and all that. You just sit at the feet of the Guru and a kataksha is enough, he says. A side glance of the Guru can lift it, can inspire. That's the easiest, isn't it? There is no effort, is necessary, because you are already that. That is the matter. You don't have to become that, nor can you unbecome that also, unfortunately. Isn't it? You don't have to become Brahman, you cannot unbecome Brahman. This is your nature. This is the only truth. There is no other truth, you see. Therefore, it is the easiest from one standpoint. It is the most difficult from another standpoint. At the same time, very easy also. So that these ideas are said here. Okay, let us do 222. Deham dhiyam chit pratibhimbamedam visrijya buddhau nihidam guhayam drishtaram atmanam akhanda bodham sarva prakasham sadasad vilakshanam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susushmam andarbhi shunyam ananyam atmanaha. So Atma has no under, outer, insert, inner is not there. Outer and inner all from a certain standpoint. In the space of Atman there is no outer and inner. There is only one Atman. Vijñāya samyak nijarūpamedad puman vipātma viraja vimurtihu. Then you have a doubt. You said you have to go inward. Isn't it? Spirituality is going inward. Materialism is going outward. Then how do you say there is no inner and out? Spirituality is going inward, isn't it? Materialism is going outward. Both spirituality and materialism going inward and outward is all within this space of the Atman, you say. Matter is not outside of the space of matter. The so-called spirit is not outside the space of Atman. So Atman contains both inward journey and outward journey also. Like a tree. A tree grows downward as it grows upward, isn't it? If the tree wants to touch the sky, it has to find the roots deep. All the way to the hell maybe. So, just as a tree which wants to grow and touch the sky has to have roots deep into the earth. And together is the tree. So similarly, matter and spirit together constitute the reality. They cannot be contradictory. There is only one reality, which we'll see a little more in explanations later. So the idea is that you don't have to run away from the world to be a spiritual person. There is one theory, God realization is goal realization. God realization is God realization is goal realization. And the goals are three goals: money, power and pleasure. And you are seeking that. You are seeking money, power and pleasure. What else are you seeking? Only these three things. So as you seek, as you move into the world, you can develop deep roots also. But when you seek that, money, power and pleasure, when you seek that, you are setting goals, you are trying to realize that goals, and there is ups and downs in the realization of the goals, and then sometimes you are successful, sometimes you are failure. If you can keep your mind calm and pursue this, karma yoga buddhya, then you develop deeper roots also. You get an insight of the Atma. So Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 11th sloka says, Ashochyan annashojastum prajñavadamscha bhashate yatasuna gadasumscha nanashojamdi pandita. So as you seek these goals, I am running for office, I start a business, or I marry to set up a family, and you may be successful, you may be a failure as you do this. And within that success and failure should not affect your equanimity of mind. When it doesn't affect the equanimity of mind, you get an insight into the spirit. Tatvevaham jadunasam. And when you have an insight into the spirit, you are deeply quiet and calm. And calmly you can pursue this goal. So in fact, spirituality is not a goal. If you make spirituality a goal, you will be running hither and thither. Spirituality is a fact. Your spirit is a fact. That can be realized only by keeping the mind calm. When the lake is calm, you can see the depth of the lake, isn't it? So spirituality wants you to pursue these external goals. While you are pursuing the external goal, keep the mind calm. When you keep the mind calm, you get an access to the spirit. And the spirit will manifest through the choices you make, whatever choices you make. So that way you can divinize the material world also. The material world is like an arena for you to practice the spiritual truth. What we made the mistake for the last 2000 years, we thought spirituality is nothing to do with the material life. So India prides itself, Hinduism prides itself to be very spiritual. Spiritual means not doing anything, sitting, doing nothing, and only 3 times you are active: breakfast, dinner and lunch. That's not spirituality, you see. Spirituality, you set some goals, pursue that goal, but keep the mind calm. Success and failure, profit and loss, criticism and praise, all of them will be there. Can you keep the mind calm? Then you realize the spirit is, and the spirit can manifest. The spirit manifests through these desires that you employ. The desires, choices become channels of expressing your spiritual plenitude. I hope it makes some sense to you. Otherwise you become lazy bums. In the name of spirituality, I am sitting and meditating. What are you meditating? You are only agitated. Meditating. Mother is meditating. Then you open the door. What should you? She is sleeping there. Meditating or anything. Or in the name of meditation, his mind is wandering hither and thither. After meditation, she comes after 2 hours and she starts scolding you. What kind of meditation is that? So pursue certain clear goals. While you are pursuing, success is not certain. All of you join politics, want to run for office, isn't it? All of you cannot run for office because there are only limited seats, parliament and assemblies. But still you are. Keep the mind quiet. So this is the strategy. So you are supremely active, but you are deeply quiet, you see. And the more you act, the more you work, the more energetic you feel. That's why Krishna says, Name partasi kartavyam trishilogesha kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani. I have nothing to gain because I am already Brahman. But still I am active. So Brahman want to express so kamayada tagusyam praja yedi, the desire to express. So that's how we have to understand that. Otherwise, in the name of spirituality, you become a lazy, useless person. Isn't it? That's not a spirituality. Spirituality means you are very precise, less energy, more output. You use very little energy and you get more out. This is, I will call Leela Nyaya, the law of playfulness. The more energy, the more effort you make, result will be less. The less energy you use, result will be more. I had an experience once. I had to go for a Gita lecture and I was in a hurry. And what I did was, I locked out myself. Kept the key inside and shut the door, pulled the door shut. Unfortunately, my Bhagavad Gita was inside. Now when you go for a lecture, you know the text in front of you, because everything I cannot repeat again and again. The text is necessary to expound. Without the Bhagavad Gita, what can I do? And my Bhagavad Gita speaks to me. Your Bhagavad Gita will not. Because I made notes there, this and that. So the Bhagavad Gita which I studied, same Bhagavad Gita I use now. There are many notes, there are many quotations and all that, quotes and all that. So without that, I may not be able to give a lecture on Gita. So now what will I do? I'm blocked out. So and there are only 5 minutes for the lecture to begin. So I was looking here, there, and twiddling my thumb, and then rubbing my hands, and then cursing myself. Then finally I thought, let me call a carpenter. He'll come and break the lock open, and then when the lock is broken, then I cannot shut it. That also is the problem. When I give a lecture, I may be thinking somebody may go there and do things. All kinds of worries. So anyway, let the carpenter come, let us solve the problem, one problem, then other problem we can take care. And carpenter came. Then he looked around. Then he saw one of my window was open. So he looked through the window, the keys, bunch of keys on the table. So he told me, Swami, can you get a stick? I said, why do you need a stick? You want to beat me or what? Why do you need a stick? Give me a stick. So I gave him a stick. Then he had a magnet with him, a magnet. So already he told, you have to give me 2,000 rupees. I have to come there and I have to break the lock open. These are all difficult things. You have to give me 2,000 rupees. Then he tied the magnet on the end of the stick and structured the stick inside, and then the key just stuck to the magnet, and he took the stick and he got the key. I said, this is so simple. For this I won't give you 2,000 rupees, he said. And he said, no, you give me for my intelligence, my effortlessness. People who are effortless, they paid more. People are sleeping, their money bank balance goes up. People who sweat and toil the whole day, they get nothing, isn't it? So the less effort you put, the more outcome you get. That's a way of doing things, he says. So that way, Brahmajnani, he creates maximum output without making any effort. Not much effort is necessary. By a swing of your hand, let us say, things happen. Like a magician. Like a magician, things happen. You say, Mayadhyakshena pravrdi suyade sajarajaram yedunanena kaundeya jagad viparivartade, you say. So that can be applied in our life also. You don't have to shout and scream so much. You don't have to run up and down so much. You don't have to let the vessels fall and roll down the kitchen so much. You can do things in a quiet way, he says. Vishnu is the example. Vishnu is the caretaker of the whole world, CEO of the world, but he is just lying down, doing nothing, he says. And in his presence, everything. Vishnu will come down only when it is absolutely necessary, he says. Absolutely necessary. Till such time we need some patience, isn't it? So, this Brahmajnani become a great doer, great leader, great performer. Great performer. So, Nityam, okay, let us Sarva Pragasham Sadasas Vilakshanam. Let us read it again. Nityam Vibhum Sarvagadam Susushmam Kandarbhi Shunyam Ananyam Atmanaha Vijnaya Samyek Nijarubamedad Puman Vivatma Viraja Vimrittihu. So knowing this, so real Ganga is this knowledge. Not the Ganga that runs by in the North India, not that Ganga. Real Ganga is the Ganga of knowledge. Jnana Ganga, I say. This Jnana Ganga you have to take an immersion. Then all your sins are washed off, he says. So Puman Vibhatma Viraja Vimrittihu Bhavati. And he is fearless. He is no sinner. So our Vishnu is, we are not sinners, we are Amrutasya Putra. We are not sinners. Sinner is only a notion, not the truth. Continuing. Vishoga ananda ghano vipaschid swayam kudaschinna vibhedi kaschid nanyosti pantha bhavabandha mukte vina swatatva avagamam mumuksho. So swa tattva avagamam. Avagama means knowing, awareing one's nature. That is the only way to liberation. Continuing. Brahma bhinnatva vijnanam bhava mokshasya karanam yenadidhiyamanandam brahma sambhadyate buddhaha. So what is the vijnanam? Brahma bhinnatva vijnanam. Aham brahmasmi iti aparokshanubhavam, you say. Brahma bhinnatva vijnanam. I am not other than Brahma. That's the knowledge. Not that some Brahman is there, Brahma asti. Brahma asmi. So we have to metamorphose from Brahma asti jnanam to Brahma asmi jnanam. Aham brahmasmi. Otherwise you will be talking about Brahman. You don't experience Brahman, you say. So aham brahmasmi. And sada aham brahmasmi. Always I have been Brahman, you say. Not idani. Swamiji, after listening to you, I have become Brahma. Today. After listening to you, I have become. Before that, were you not Brahman? You are Brahman, you say. So you don't have to, you are not beholden to Swami also. That is only a courtesy. That is only a courtesy. You are not beholden for being Brahman. You are Brahman, period, you say. So, nanyasti pantha bhavabandha mukte vina sutatva avagamam. Sutatva avagamam. Continuing. So Brahma abhinnatva vijnanam bhavamokshasya karanam yena advidiyam anandam brahma sambhadyate buddha. Advidiya anandam, he said. Advidiyam anandam means has several meanings. One meaning is in that state of joy, there is no other. There is no other. We all are one in that happy state. Because happy state, I told you, this story is one. You accommodate everyone. When you are unhappy, you reject everyone. When you are happy, you throw a party. When you are unhappy, you throw away the party. So advidiyya jnanam. In that state, there is no other, you say. In that state, there is no other source of happiness also. There is only one source, that's me. So Brahma yana advidiyam anandam brahma sambhadyate buddhaha. Continuing. Brahma bhutastu samsrutyai vidwan navartade punaha vijnadavyam adas samyak brahma bhinnatvam atmanaha brahma bhutastu samsrutyai vidwan navartade punaha vijnadavyam adas samyak brahma bhinnatvam atmanaha. Padachedam brahma buddhaha tu samsritye vidwan na avartade punaha, you say. So once you know you are Brahman, your nature is happiness, there is no searching for happiness anymore. There is no more search. All searches are over. Then you are just going around, that's it. Not in search, but to express yourself. Like a person who earned a lot of money and retired from job, sitting at home calmly. Thereafter he travels. He travels to Indonesia, Bali, or Thailand, or Maldives, or some exotic place. He travels. He goes there. What does he do? He is lying down on the sand, the beaches, half naked or full naked. That's what he is doing. And sunbathing, spending his money, enjoying life. Before also you used to travel. Before also you used to travel. As a duty, as official duty. You will take a flight, go there, the car comes, you go to a meeting and you are enclosed in that boardroom and then you fight it out and then you are exhausted and you come back. There is no enjoyment there. After retirement also you travel. This travel is totally different. This travel is out of your joy. You are not doing expecting anything particular. Both are traveling. One travel out of compulsion, other travel is out of your own choices. Isn't it? Similarly, Brahmajnani samsrutyena vidvan navartade. Thereafter, you are not traveling out of compulsion. Samsruti means out of compulsion. Things are pushing you. It's like a Bombay train. You wait for the train, a huge crowd is there as the train pulls in. You don't have to do anything. Everybody will push you inside. Isn't it? There is no effort necessary. This way you are pushed. You are pushed to do this, you are pushed to do that. No, it's not like that. It's my choice. It's my choice. So, Vijnadavyamada, so Brahma Bodhastu Samsruddhe Vidvanna Vartade Puna. So I define Samsruddhi, this Punarabijananam is part of your search for yourself, search for happiness. That is over now. Now you no more search. You are only moving around out of your freedom. Vijnadavyamada Samyak. Therefore, since this is the state you want to achieve, Vijnadavyam, you have to know Samyak Brahma, Bhinnatvam Atmanaha. You have to know yourself as non-separate from Brahman. Meaning your nature is happiness. Continuing. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Vishuddham Param Sudasiddham Nityanandaikarasam Sampratyaga Abhinnam Nirandaram Jayadi. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Vishuddham Param Sudasiddham Nityanandaikarasam Pratyaga Abhinnam Nirandaram Jayadi. The same thing is I have put on to you again and again. There is repetition here. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Yoveda Nidam Guhayam. Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Yoveda Nidam Guhayam Parame Vyoman Sosnude Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipaschidedi. Tasmadva edasmad atmana akasha sambhuda. Taittiriya Upanishad. That's being quoted here. Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam, Brahma. That Brahma Ahamasmi. Up to that. Otherwise it will be hanging. The sentence is not complete. Satyam, Jnanam, Anandam, Brahma revealed in the Upanishad by the Rishis. That I am. What is Satyam? We have seen that which doesn't change. In all your experience, which doesn't change is I experience. That doesn't change. So, I, Satyam. Jnanam, and that I experience everything. Therefore, Jnanam, knowledge. Anandam, since all experience is within this light of consciousness, it is Anandam. It is not conditioned by time or space. Sandranandava bodhatmagam anurunidham kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam, isn't it? Nityamuktam nigamashata savasrena nirbhasivanam aspashtam dristamatre punarurupurushashtatmagam brahmatattvam tattavad bhaji sashat guru bhavanapure. So you are giving it a shape. That shapeless or boundless reality has been captured in that particular form. It's a symbolic symbol for that, for your meditation. So the Satchidananda Sachidanandam is sitting in Guruvayur. My God. Guruvayur sits in Sachidanandam, isn't it? Sachidanandam sits in Guruvayur or here and there. In fact, Sachidanandam sits everywhere. It's everywhere, isn't it? So Sachidanandam sits in Guruvayur, so you have the joy of taking the train, getting down, taking a taxi, and then go there and look at it and close your eyes. That pressure you get. Some movement. So, Nitya Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma revealed in the Upanishad, Vishuddham Param Swadasiddham. This Brahman is Vishuddham, pure, absolutely pure, because there is no second. When there is no second, that's called pure. You know, your shirt which is washed and ironed and then you are wearing it. And there is a beautiful cup of tea which you are sipping. And then a drop falls on the shirt. Both are pure. But there is this is bad. Isn't it? So there are two, there is impurity. Because both of them mutually limit. When you limit, a limit thing has to die. Because A is not B. So both limit each other. So there are two, they mutually limit and they get into suicidal pact. So therefore, there cannot be two things, you say. It's all one. There is no other. That's why Vishuddham, absolutely pure. There is no second to make it impure. Param means beyond. Sajadiya, Vijadiya, Svagata, Bhedarahidam, Param. That's the definition of Param. Sajadiya, Vijadiya, Svagata, Bhedarahidam. There's no kind of Bheda difference. Sajadiya means the difference that you see in the same species. For example, cows. Cow. There are many cows, spotted cow, black cow, white cow, yellow cow, my cow, your cow, which cow. all these expressions, cows. Among the cows, there's a Sajadiya Bheda. Between the same species, there are differences. Vijadiya means between the cow and the elephant. Between different species. Bheda. Elephant is not a cow, cow is not an elephant. Vijadiya. Then Svagata Bheda. Within one cow there is difference. Because cow's leg is not the head is not the udder. Within that. Brahman is free from all these differences. Because there is only one Brahman, it is Brahman through and through. It has no limbs, head and neck and all that. It is only pure. In a happy state, there is only one, there is nothing else. When you experience your happiness, you don't distinguish between head and leg and all that. It's only when pain comes, headache, the head looms large, isn't it? When everything is going smooth, there is no difference at all. No Sajadiya, Vijadiya, Svagata, Bhedams are not there. So, Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Vishuddham Param Swadasiddham, self-existing, is not caused by anything. Nityanandam, Sahajanandam, Sarupanandam, Nityanandam. Ekarasam, there is only one rasam there. There are not many rasas there. It's not bitter, sour, sweet, and then panchan. These rasas. And these rasas are all expressions of that in the conditional state of Brahma, in state of ignorance. Otherwise, all one rasam is there. Ekarasam, pratyeka abhinnam, not separate from pratyegatma. It is your deepermost self. Pratyeka abhinnam. Nirandaram, there is no gap. Gap free. There is no gap at all. Nirandaram. Jayadi. Jayadi means vartade. That is your state. Keep on meditating on that. Keep on meditating. Let's read it once again. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma Vishuddham Param Swadasiddham Nityanande Garasam Pratyega Abhinnam Nirantaram Jayati. So hail to this Brahman, that is Nirantaram Jayati. The good news, hail. Victory to this Brahman. Victory to myself, that's what you say. Continuing. Sadidam Paramadvaidam Sadidam Paramadvaidam Swasmadanyasya Vastuno Bhavad Nachyanyatasti Kinchid Samyak Paratattva Bodha Sudashayam. Long sentences. Let us do some Padachedam there. Sada idam Parama Advaidam Swasmad Anyasya Vastunaha Bhavad Nahi Anyadasti Kinchida Samyaga Paratattva Bodha Su Dashaya. Same thing repeated. Now you find same repetition in different ways. Sada idam Paramadvaidam. This Brahman is Sada. Sada means the only truth. Paramam, supreme. I have explained what Paraman is. Advaidam, one without a second. So when you go to the ocean, the river goes to the ocean, and there is ocean all the way. It is there. So they say, where is this world situated? The world situated is on Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? On the Ananda. Where is Ananda? Ananda is the Milky Ocean. Where is the Milky Ocean? They are all milk everywhere. There is nothing more than he says. So, na anyadasti kinjid samyak paratattva bodha sudashaya. When you know the supreme truth, there is only the truth, nothing else is there. Reflect on that. Next. Yadidam sagalam vishwam nana rupam pradidam ajnanad tassarvam brahmeva pratyastha ashesha bhavana dosham. Yadidam sagalam vishwam. Now the question is, I knew I am aham brahmasmi, but what about the world which is surrounding me, which is there around me? How do I account for that? How do I account for it? Since there are two things, Brahman and Maya, Purusha and Prakriti, Shiva and Shakti. There are two to explain things. So what happens to this Maya, Shakti, or Prakriti, or Drishyam? What happens to that? Yadidam sakalam vishwam, the whole universe that you experience, nana rupam, of many forms and many names and many qualities, many relationships, many functions, that world. Pradidam ajnanad, that's only a pradidi, he says. Pradidi means an appearance. Pradidi, appearance. Ajnanad, in a state of ignorance, this world appears for him as independently existing. In the wake of knowledge, this world becomes an appearance of Brahman, not independently appearing. That's why nana rupam pradidam ajnanad. In a state of ignorance, the world stands dominating him. It seems independently existing. Tat sarvam, all that. Brahma eva, they also are only Brahman, he says. It will be explained, how is that? Tat sagalam brahmeva pratyastha ashesha bhavana dosham. Pratyastha means when the bhavana means imagination or taking this as real. When that end, pratyastham shunyam, ashesha bhavana dosham. So mind, when does not know, it will start projecting. That's the mind's nature. It cannot stand uncertainty, unknownness. It cannot stand. It will always project. That's why we always want to go to the astrologer or those who read the hand. Tell me what's going to happen. Astrologer himself is in confusion, isn't it? But for your sake, he will say something. He'll spread some kavadi and he will make some prediction, or read some card, make prediction, or you can chart, make prediction. Because this uncertainty we cannot tolerate. We always want predictability. Analytics, predictability, and policy prescriptions and all that. So when things are uncertain, mind starts projecting. By some way it starts projecting. I know an astrologer, he came to our ashram and hundreds of people came consulting. The whole day he was consulting. At the end of the day he comes to me. And he says, Swamiji, now I have a problem. I said, what's your problem? What's your problem? I married my daughter after consulting all the chart and all that. The groom's chart, the bride's chart, I consult everything. And I married. Now they are divorced. Can you tell me what is the reason? I said, you are the master of prediction. You should know what is the reason. I don't know. I don't know why they are divorcing. That you have to ask them, not me. Or consult the star. You go to the stars and consult. So the astrologer himself is in confusion. But in front of others, he knows everything. Because they know very little. They are in a need to predict. Astrologer will predict you like as a child. Your wife is delivering is a girl child. Because I want to know, I am anxious. It's a girl or a boy. At that time there is no test, to know whether girl or boy. Even now it is considered immoral, unethical, to see the gender of the child. So he consulted astrologer, boy or girl. I have 3 girls already. Now I need 1 boy. Astrologer will say, okay, you'll get a boy, because that's what you want. But he will write in a piece of paper, girl, and tuck it somewhere. And fortunately or unfortunately, 4th child also is a girl. Then he said, you told me he's a boy. Did I say that? I have written it down, please see there. And it is girl. It can be either boy or girl, isn't it? So this way, prediction is only probability. It's a guess. It's a guess. Probability 50% will be true, 50% is false. What is true we remember. Oh, this astrology is great. Once or twice he told the truth. The other thing you forget, he says. So this way, yes sarvam pratyastha ashesha bhavana. My point is, mind always wants to project. When it does not know who it is, then it will predict, it will project. The world is a projection of the mind. Tas sarvam brahma eva, you say, all these are Brahman only. Pratyastha ashesha bhavana dosham. When you question your predictions, which is very important, when you question your imagination, imagine but question it, then you are free. You are no more bound to say. So mind is creating, predicting and all that. But you need that critical faculty of questioning that, detaching from that. That's the questioning, you detach. This also will change, even this will pass away. So tassarvam brahmaiva pratyastha ashesha bhavana dosham. Then there is only the Brahman. Continuing. Now some examples are given. Mritkarya bhuto vimruto na bhinnaha kumbhosti sarvatra tu mrussurubad na kumbharubam pradagasti kumbhaha kudo mrisha kalpita nama matraha mritkarya bhuto vimruto na bhinnaha kumbhosti sarvatra tu mrussurubad Na kumbharubam pradagasti kumbha kudo mrisha kalpita nama matraha. Now here is a very interesting reflection upon the kumbha. Kumbha means a pot. You are looking at the pot. Pot has got a size, has got a function, it has got, you can carry water, boil water in the pot. It's a pot. Pot is nothing but a space actually. But a defined, confined space, pot. And the value of the pot is that space, not the other thing. So you can put something in that. So here is a pot. This pot is made up of what? Clay. Pot is made up of clay. So this is called the pot is a mritkaryam. Mritkaryam means an evolute of clay or the effect of clay. Clay is the cause. Pot is the effect. That very clear to us. Without the clay there is no pot. So what is the relation between the pot and the clay? Is the question. What is the relation between the pot and the clay? So mritkarya bhudo bimrudaha na bhinnaha kumbha. Kumbha means the pot. The pot which is an effect of the clay, is a modified clay, is not away from the clay. You cannot pry the pot from the clay. You cannot take the pot from the clay. Wherever pot is there, there will be clay. Pot cannot get rid of the clay, unfortunately. Even if it wants, isn't it? Wherever there is pot, there will be clay. So the cause and effect is related, inalienable relation is there. Wherever there is pot, there will be clay. Wherever there is clay, there need not be pot. It can be pot or cup or a saucer or whatever. The relation between the pot and the clay, pot cannot exist other than the clay. Pot is only a appearance or a modified clay, or appearance of clay. So mritkarya bhudo bimrudaha na bhinnaha kumbha asti sarvatrutu mritsvarubhad. So all over the pot there is only clay. There is nothing else. So why do you say it's a kumbham, it's a pot? Pot is only nama rupa, you say. It's only akaram, which is a vikaram of the clay. Say clay only appears as the pot. So nama and a rupa. In essence, it is only clay. If there are two separate things, you can take the pot and I will take the clay. You take the ring, I will take the gold. Is that possible? Not possible. So wherever there is pot, there is clay. Where there is ring, there is gold. It is a golden ring. Then why do you say these two words? These two words indicate the same thing. Whether you say pot or clay indicate the same thing. They are not two things. So two words are used to indicate the same thing. What is the same thing? Clay. Two words are used. Like water, pani, jal. Indicate the same thing. But since you are caught up in the word, you think there are two things. There is pot, there is clay. You think like that because you are caught up in the magic of words. There is pot, there is clay, but both of them, when you touch the pot, you are touching the clay. You touch the clay, you touch the pot. So they don't exist separately, you see. So this world is like a pot. Brahman is like the clay. So the world appears, the Brahman appears as the world. So when you say the world, you are indicating Brahman only. The world is a pointer, indicator of Brahman, you say. So the world is only, there is a Vishnu Sahasranama, 1,000 names of Vishnu. Vishwam, Vishyam, Vishnuhu, Vashatkaraha, Buddha, Bhavya, Bhavadu, Prabhu, So everything indicates the same truth. Everything points to the same truth. The pot points to clay. So, mritkarya bhudo vimrudo na bhinnaha kumbhosti sarvatra tumissurubad na kumbharubam pradagasti. There is nothing called pot separate from the clay. Kumbhaha na pradagasti kumbhaha kudo mrisha kalpidanama matram. It is only a name and a form, a vikara, a modification in the clay. Essentially there is only clay. So essentially there is only Brahman, there is only consciousness. The rest are all fluctuous in consciousness. Waves that arise in consciousness. So na kumbha rupam pradagasti kumbhaha kudo mrishakal. So there is a great analysis on this. Let's say Ishvara creates the world, let's say. And Ishvara or this Brahman is called Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. Brahman is both the Nimitta Upadana Karana. A little bit of logic. So Ishvara created the world. When a pot maker make the pot, he has to bring clay, isn't it? He has to bring clay and he has to mix it with the water, create a dough out of that, then put it in the wheel, etc., etc. So for the pot maker, two things are necessary. One, his knowledge of making the pot. This is called Nimitta Karana. Other is clay, which is called Upadana Karana, material cause. There's a material cause and then an efficient cause, Nimitta Karana. The potter brings the clay from somewhere and then makes the pot. And when after making the pot, somebody buys the pot. Isn't it? Potter remains here, the pot goes. So there Nimitta Karana, Upadana Karana separate. Not the same. The potter doesn't take the clay from his head. Though he is a clay-headed person, he doesn't do that. It's separate. It's separate. Whereas Ishvara, when he creates the world, suppose we accept creation, where does he get the material? Knowledge he has, Sarvajna. Knowledge he has, like the pot. But where does he get the material? He has to procure it from some other god or what? One god manages material, other god manages the knowledge. Then there will be fight. Next day he says, the rare earth minerals we are going to give you. Isn't it? Then you are in trouble. So Ishvara finds the material from himself, not from outside. He is both the material and the efficient cause. So because of the efficient cause, you Sarvajnaha, you can create. Sarvashaktiman, you have the power, the willpower to create it. But where is the material? Material from himself. So he is both the material and the efficient causes. Being the material cause, now in pot, the material is clay. When you make the pot, where is the clay now? In the pot, not inside the pot. The clay has become the pot. So as the material cause, Bhagavan has become the world. As the efficient cause, he transcends the world. Because the potter transcends the pot. So Bhagavan is both the material and the efficient cause for the creation. As the material cause, Sarvavyapi, he is everywhere. As the efficient cause, he is above the creation. So that you can create many, many creations. So that's how we understand the creation, the relation between Brahman and the world. So we use this definition, Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyabihi. Sarvavyabitum is because Bhagavan being the material cause of the world. That's why Purusha Sukta. Purusha by a great sacrifice has become the world, you say. So that's how we understand. Bhagavan is both the material, the efficient cause of the world. So yadidam sagalam vishwam nanarupam. So we say Bhagavan hai, kan mein Bhagavan hai. In every grain of sand, there is the Lord, you say. Because the whole world is Bhagavan's Rupa, Bhagavan's form. Bhagavan is not separate from the world, but he is beyond the world also. Isn't it? Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrasha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwado Vrutva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. Another 10 inches he is above. Atyatishtat Dashangulam. He envelops the whole world and then transcends. So it is all-inclusive transcendence. Not separate transcendence. Transcendence is not separate from the world. It includes the world and then still transcends. So that is why Hindus, worship trees, snakes. Snake also we worship. Trees we worship. The people tree, you go round and round and round and round. Or a snake, you have a Naga Puja, or Go Puja, or Elephant Puja, or Madhri Puja, or Guru Puja, or Aditi Puja. So if you see a stone Shivalingam, Puja again. So this is a very worshipful attitude to this world because this is manifest Brahman, you say. So tas sarvam brahmaiva patyastashe. So mritkarya bhudo bimrudona bhinnaha kumbhosti sarvatra namrsvarubhad na kumbharubam pradagasti. There is no separate pot other than the clay. Kudo mrisha kalpita nama matram. So this is the only, that's why the world is a nama, name, and rupa. Rupa means vikaram and akaram. Akara is subjected to vikaram, can change. The Brahman appears, this is called Ajadavada. Brahman appears as the world, he says. That appearance doesn't last for long. So the whole world goes through this process of Srishti Siddhi Layam goes like. Even this building, Srishti Siddhi Layam, it will last for 100 years and thereafter you have to pull it down. Your body lasts for 120 years, thereafter you have to pull it down. If you don't pull it down, it will fall apart. Better you pull it down and build something else. So this way, every phenomena in the world go through this ironclad logic of Srishti, Siddhi and Layam, he is saying. But Brahman remains unaffected through all this. Kumbharubam na pradagasti, other than the Brahman. Kudo mrisha kalpita dhammatram. So that idea is said Maya. It appears, grows, and then declines and perishes. Nothing can escape that law. Big civilization, the Roman civilization, the Greek civilization, the Chinese civilization, even the Indian civilization had a great glorious day. Then it declined. And barbarians came and conquered us. The Roman civilization was destroyed by barbarian, German barbarian. Indian civilization destroyed by the British barbarians, isn't it? They came in. Because we are in the declining mode. It needs only some push. So we go through that. It's not that British people came and destroyed us. It's a law of nature. You have to go under. So sometimes we blame the British people. Of course they had superior technology, they have gun and then all kind of things. We are arrows and then stones we were fighting with a gun. Because they had a higher technology. Nature was with them. And we were in the declining process. So what is required is only just a push. And we fell down. Now we are awakening again. Now their decline starts now. The Western civilization in a declining process, you say. The Indian, the Chinese, they are taking over now. So this is our sunrise time, their sunset time. And now we have to grab the opportunity, you see. At the right time, we have to grab the opportunity. And then later, our time will come to decline. So this way, Srishti, Siddhi, Life, civilization, companies. IBM was a mighty company once upon a time. Now this startup like Microsoft, they all taken over. IBM is an old company now. There's some or other managing. But once upon a time, great companies. So companies, corporations, civilizations, countries, they all go through this process. Like we are going through, he said. That is the law of creation. It has to go through. So let us spend some time on this in meditation. So see the example of the clay and the pot. The pot is the world, clay is Brahman. So the pot doesn't change the nature of the clay. The clay remains the clay, but it appears as the pot. Is useful. You can bring water. But utility does not mean reality. Utility is a temporary use of the thing. So similarly, the world is like a pot appearing in Brahman, the clay. Not only nama matram, it's only a word, a different word to indicate the same clay. Prapancham. The two words indicate the same truth. The pot and the clay. Similarly, the world and Brahman. They all indicate the same truth. Spirit and matter indicate the same truth. Inner and outer indicate the same truth. So this abhinnatva, non-separateness, advaidam. So we go beyond the binary thinking into unity understanding of things. So you can say the pot is useful but not meaningful. Pot has no meaning. It doesn't refer to anything other than Brahman. Or other than the clay. Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.